You know those people that when Apple used to come out with a new Apple phone and they'd be out the store at midnight?
Lining up, camping over.
Yeah? Right. They're those 2.5%. You actually want people to go, we have got one of the best things since sliced bread. And they want to shout it from the rooftop. And you identify your little niche submarket. Even in that market, there's only 16%. Are they the type of customer who loves to talk about? Are they on social media a lot? That's where you create that beachhead and enables you to actually scale quite rapidly by having the right people as your early adopters.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome to The Business Game, a podcast that moves the needle. Hey guys, before we get started today, just a really quick moment to thank one of our sponsors, SmoothX. Their integration platform connects Procore, Xero, QuickBooks, and more, trusted by over 1,000 clients globally, and you can be operational in under 30 minutes. Visit smoothx.com to simplify your workflows. And thanks again to SmoothX for sponsoring The Business Game. Welcome to The Business Game. Don't forget to like and subscribe as you're watching the episode. My name's Jazmyn and I'm joined today with my co-host Jay and a very special guest in studio today, Trevor Holmes. Welcome, Trevor.
Thank you very much. It's wonderful to be here.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming in. So could you start off by just telling us a bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. Our organisation is called Advivo ICP. The ICP stands for Innovation Commercialisation Partners. And in essence, we help people with really smart ideas, take their ideas and commercialise them to be successful.
Great.
Okay, so now you have a specific way of doing things. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you look at innovation to be more like a science experiment than you do as a creative brainstorm.
Absolutely.
Can you walk us through that?
Yeah. Innovation is actually a science. It's a repeatable thing that when you get that process right, you can do over and over again very successfully. And the essence of that really is about, we have a 8-step validation process. And the concept of that is that when you start off just with an idea, just conceptualise. Who do you think the market is for this idea? How big is that market? What does it look like? What does the commercialisation journey look like? And don't move past that point until you can validate that there's actually going to be market demand for your idea.
So give us an example of something that's worked, tried and tried, tested, that you've done yourself and the outcome of that.
Absolutely. So we've just commercialised a piece of software late last year. And my clients were brilliant experts in the urban design space.
Okay.
And they had an idea of how to simplify infrastructure planning. And so rather than just go out and build this software, of which they have no experience in being software builders, we actually started off by just going through the process and talking to who they thought their target market was and validating all the assumptions that they made as to why and what job does this do and how does it solve the problems that the customers are experiencing. Once we knew that, we were able to then just construct a proof of concept, to put that into hands of what we would call early adopters, get their feedback, because innovation is a learning loop.
Yeah.
And until you've got those people that are actually doing the job because they've got a pain point that, makes the job how they do it now really difficult. And then from there, once we had the confidence, we invested into the actual software development, but in what we call a minimum viable product, and then put that into the hands of the users. The result of all that was that throughout the process, really before we actually even started moving into the early majority market, that's sort of, we'll explain that a little bit later, they actually won the UDIA, which is the Urban Design Industry Association Award for Property Tech.
Wow.
Just last year.
Amazing.
Yeah, so
That's
a great outcome.
fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic outcome. So I guess let's roll it back a little bit. So you're sitting down and you're doing these, you're going through this process of making this idea come to life.
Yeah.
What are some of the common? So do you often come across people that are like, well, this is our audience, this is who it is, and then they find out that's not right, that it actually isn't their audience?
Well, in actual fact, when people come to us, the very first questions we ask is, who do you think is your market?
Yeah.
Or another way to put it would be, who do you think needs this product and is willing to buy it? Well, there's usually about two types of responses we'll get. The first one is, oh, everyone's going to love this,
Yep.
right? And that's always a little bit of a worry.
Yep.
The other is that they'll come back and say, oh, this is for the construction industry.
Okay.
Or this is for the health industry.
Yeah.
And they are what we call headline markets.
Mm-hmm.
And headline markets are big markets
Yep.
and very complex. And what we really want to find is that niche submarket that has clients who really have a job that they're very frustrated
I'm glad you
with.
said that about the niche submarket, because I find, and Jazz, you may have found this as well, quite often that is forgotten about. It's like this is what we want to do, this is our big picture, and this is who we're going to attack. And they forget that there is an absolute submarket in beneath that is probably going to do them better than going for that big overall one that they think that they need to service.
Yeah, it's a really good point, Jaimie. A lot of people, and it's intuitive in all of us, that when we think we've got a really brilliant idea, we want to go straight to the top of the mountain.
Absolutely.
Whereas innovation really is about taking those steps. You know, we have 8 validation steps, and it's really about being prepared to go on that journey, and in each of those steps, validate that point before moving to the next step. It's like, say, climbing Everest.
Yep.
You know, you're not just going to go in the one day straight up to the top.
Yeah, you've got your checkpoints.
You've got
along
your
the way.
checkpoints, and they're important to follow, because if you don't follow them,
Yeah.
that can be quite serious for a hiker.
In regards to a time frame, so let's stick with the software company that you mentioned earlier. When you start this process with them, so they've come to you, we've got this idea. What is the time frame of how you work with them?
Yeah. The answer to that is one that is not going to please you. It depends.
Yeah, I knew you'd say that.
It does. It really depends on the complexity of the idea.
Yep.
Physical products and software products. You know, for example, if you take Airbnb, they were able to validate their idea. Do you know how?
How?
They actually advertised a blow-up bed in one of their friends' apartments, and they had lots of demand for people who just wanted a room for the night and a bed somewhere to sleep. And that was their proof of concept.
Wow.
Yeah. So even places like Dropbox,
Yeah.
they didn't have a product. They
Yeah.
put it out there to say, this is what we do. They had 70,000 sign-ups
Yeah, that's great.
before they had a product.
So on that, I'm going to guess, are not the norm that it works like that.
No.
Where they've got demand, but they don't actually have their product yet. So how? I mean, I don't need to know how they did it. We all know they did it,
Yeah.
and they've done it very, very
Yes.
well. But to what detriment is it for other businesses to think that, we could do that too?
I don't think it's about detriment in regards to being able to validate the demand, and that's all those cases were. You've still got to build it, and you've still got to go through an iterative and agile process to build, whether it's software or working with industrial designers for a physical product.
Yeah.
But one of the very important things is, first of all, to understand, is there a very specific customer out there who has this job that they're trying to get done, in which they are very frustrated and it's a real big problem for them as to how they get that job done now. And that's a real signal that there is potential
Yeah.
to be able to solve that problem where there are people who are willing to try anything because they're so frustrated with
Okay.
that problem.
Trevor, there's a bit of an elephant in the room. It's not actually an elephant,
No.
but it's
It's
making me
almost.
hungry.
You've got a sweet tooth
I
there.
do. We discussed this before. This would
Okay.
be breakfast, lunch, and
We
dinner
might
for
break
me.
the seal a little bit later.
Yes. Tell us about the jelly beans,
Tell you about the jelly beans.
because I'm intrigued. I mean, I
Okay.
know bits.
You know
but
bits,
I,
yeah.
I want to know from the man.
It's a metaphor. Now, as I explained before, we have customers who see their solution in being in markets like health, logistics, manufacturing, construction. The big jar here with all the coloured jelly beans represents one of those headline markets.
Okay.
And all the different colours in there are representative of the type of customers, all who have different wants, needs, what they value and what they care about. Now, for this metaphor, what we're proposing is that the green jelly beans represent a small niche market, usually at the lower end of the market. And therefore, your job as an innovator is to be able to identify what are the common jobs in amongst all the green jelly beans, the lower end.
Yep.
What are their common problems that they're actually experiencing? Because if you can extract, so if you're going out to the market and you're saying, hey, we've got this fantastic solution, well, guess what? The blue ones, which might be the big corporates, they have very different wants, needs, values, and what they care about than the green ones.
Yeah.
They're going to be much more sophisticated. The procurement process will be much, much longer.
Yeah.
It may burn you out before you even make your first sale. And so what we highly recommend is to find that sub-niche market or the niche sub-market
Yep.
within the construction industry that those customers do have those common jobs they're trying to get done, common problems. Now, if we take someone like, we might know a brand called, say, Xero. They did not enter the market with a full, complete accounting
No, they
package that was
didn't.
in the cloud.
Yeah, they didn't.
It was actually solving a problem for very small tradespeople, as I understand it, that just wanted to know how much cash have I got in the bank today, what bills do I have to pay,
Yep.
and what's left over for me.
Yeah.
And they were so frustrated with, because they're not accountants. So what did Xero build? They built an accounting system. I'll refrain that from being about accounting because it wasn't to begin with.
Yeah.
But they provided a solution to that very specific market that were able to, because of their bank feeds, and being in the cloud, were able to wake up every day, see what money had come in,
Yeah.
see what money had to go out, and could see what was left over. Therefore, they picked their green jelly beans.
Yeah.
And from there, they built a beachhead of loyal customers who just love the idea of being able to invoice electronically, get paid, and know what was left over for them to be able to take out of their business bank account. So the real concept here is to understand that if you wish to just market to that whole market, knowing that only about 5% of that market is going to have the common jobs and problems that they're trying to solve, then you're going to spend a whole lot of money, of which most startups and innovators do not have.
Yep.
So therefore, identify the green jelly beans, put them to one side, understand what are their challenges, and then tailor those to recruit those as you go in to talk to that market and understand even more deeply, and then to bring them in as your early adopters, and guess what? They become your first clients.
Yeah, amazing. So would you suggest that in terms of marketing budget, for example. If you're in the early stages, you're trying to find and reach that sub-audience, how much are we diverting spend, say we're splitting it percentage-wise, to just the green jelly beans versus the rest?
In regards to the research, Jazmyn, finding out first, well, this is where we have advanced so far. You were asking about timelines before, Jaimie. Now, the traditional way that we would research those markets is we would go through lists within that industry. So let's say this is construction, but we've identified it's the plasterers who really need this because they have a problem getting this job done. Well, then, we would go through lists. We would look up phone books. We would look up and Google and all those sort of things and try and hope that we're actually targeting those customers. Now we use AI.
Yeah.
I mean, we have an AI tool literally where we do a 3-hour workshop with innovators, and we're able to start with construction, hit a button, and it pops up all the submarkets. Wow. We go, oh, it's off in that direction. It's industrial construction. Then we hit the button and we have the submarkets of all that.
Yeah.
Oh, electrical, no. Plastering, commercial plastering. Let's hit the submarkets of all that. And we can drill and we can keep going. We're about to release a platform next week that once we've found that niche submarket, we can now find the companies in there and the people with contacts and so on, and you can just target those people and start talking to them and learning, most importantly, validating the assumptions about what the important jobs are to them and how frustrated they are. By talking to these people, you actually learn whether your assumptions are correct or not.
What happens when you've got your company, you've done your meetings, you've found their sub-niche market? What happens when you find more than one?
Yeah, that's great, because often our clients' solutions will have 6 or 8, niche submarkets. That could be the case. We often treat our innovators as being the domain experts, usually because they come from those sectors. It's their space. So they usually have a pretty good idea which ones. Now, it's not to say that eventually you're going to be selling to that whole market.
Yeah.
To be very specific, this is about your go-to market strategy and being very, very targeted. So we would absolutely recommend talking to at least 2 or 3 of those submarkets. But once you've found one, you've actually got validation from those. I mean, we did one on the Parcel product, Parcel.online, which is the infrastructure software that we helped work with, the team there. And I can recall when we were interviewing, which we normally do online, and we asked permission to record it. And I asked one of the interviewees from the Green Jelly Bean about a particular job. How important is that job to you on a scale of 1 to 10?
Yeah.
He said, oh, that's a 9 or 10. And I said, and so how satisfied are you with that on a scale of 1 to 10 in how you do that job now?
Yeah.
Well, he just went like this. Oh, my God, it's a mess.
Yeah.
I can't sleep at night because I don't know which project's running profitably, which one's not, and all that sort of stuff. So, it's so important to at least get across 2 or 3 of those niche submarkets. Now, you may be able to attack all 3 at once. Our preference is to pick one, get early adoption, and to get rapid adoption from those early adopters. And so, it's a really proven formula of how you enter the market.
If there was one key signal that you could give advice on for other founders stepping into something, about what to look for as a sign that they've tapped into the correct submarket? What would one be?
Yeah, great question. It really is about how they use the product. So once you've developed your minimum viable product, you've got it into the hands of the early adopters. Don't get caught up in compliments.
Oh, yeah.
Really track what is the output that the customers are using. And a great way to test it is how much pain would the customer be in if we took this away from them? And that's a great way to know. And so, yeah.
That's a real way to know too.
It is a real way.
Like that is a really stop and think about this way that it could actually affect your business.
Absolutely. And look, it depends on, the different sort of, whether it's products, software or whatever. But if your customers are not going to be shattered and disappointed if you take that off them, you probably haven't achieved product market fit.
Yep.
And our whole concept is to actually test and talk to that market so that you are increasing your chances that you are getting product market fit with that green jelly bean segment. Because we have to remember, we know that the early movers in any innovation only represents around about 16% of any market. 2.5% are the early innovators.
Yep.
You know those people that when Apple used to come out with a new Apple phone and they'd be out the store at midnight?
Lining up, camping over.
Yeah,
Yep.
right. They're those 2.5%.
Yeah.
The other 13.5% are a little bit more conservative of that. They're probably a little bit more, business acumen and wary, but they still love innovation. So even when you go from your headline market down into all the niche submarkets and you identify your little niche submarket, even in that market, there's only 16% who will adopt really early and really rapidly. So it is very important to find those people. This new tool we've got, we can actually identify right prompts to scour to look for people who talk about innovation and their own innovations and how far their company is plus. Are they the type of customer who loves to talk about? Are they on social media a lot? Are they people that are thought leaders in their industry? Because you don't want just any early adopter who says, oh yeah, this is really great, thank you, and doesn't tell anyone.
Yep.
You actually want people that go, we have got one of the best things since sliced bread.
Shout it from
and
the
they want to
rooftops.
shout it from the rooftop. That's where you create that beachhead and enables you to actually scale quite rapidly by having the right people as your early adopters.
What is one of the first signs that you find that a business has something that is disruptive, something that could be right under their nose, but they haven't even seen it yet?
Yeah. I love these. It actually, Jaimie, it comes predominantly from small, medium-sized businesses who are in their business, their core business, trying to get a job done. They are frustrated with it. They look around the marketplace and they go, there's nothing out there.
Yeah.
And they actually start to build what we call workarounds. They might be using Excel spreadsheets.
Yep.
They might be piecing this bit of software and that together. I've even seen people that have constructed physical tools to do certain jobs because they just thought it was a waste of time the way they do it now.
Yep.
Those are usually fantastic examples of opportunities because if a business, and we've done one of these projects, a piece of software called Hero.io, whereby a town planning organiser, we've worked with a few town planners, they had built an internal ERP system,
Yep.
enterprise resource platform, because they were growing
That's
it.
no small feat.
That's no small feat. They built it over 10 years.
Jeez. Okay.
And they came to us saying, look, we've actually grown our team from 40 to 100.
Yeah.
We've only put on, I think it was only 1 or 2 admin staff.
Yeah.
We think we've got a pretty good product here. What do you think? So what we're looking for, first of all, is what jobs does it do? How much pain are others like them
Yep.
experiencing in the marketplace? And that's where we go out and we actually interview in a scientific way to validate and quantify how important are these jobs and how frustrated are you with how you do it. Now, one of the key things is when you're going into the market entry, I've sort of mentioned, I studied disruption strategy at Harvard Business School under Professor Clayton Christensen, and his concept, or his theory, which has been very much proven, is that you enter the low-end market with disruptive technologies. And so with these guys, they had built, obviously invoicing, timesheet management, project management and so on. But we identified that the people that were in the most pain were in that 20 to 25 employee range. They were at the 100 employee range. Now, when we went and spoke to a few people that were more sophisticated in that 60, does it do this? Does it do that? Does it do this? Do that? Oh, we've already got a system, so it's going to have to be really damn good before we switch. So we went lower into that sort of 10 to 25. They haven't built and put together all their systems. And that's, why they are very frustrated with that. And so the key factors in identifying disruptive technologies does it make it accessible, more accessible to a market? Is it easy and simple? And is it a lower cost to deliver that job? If you can tick those 3 boxes, then there's a high probability that what you've got is disruptive. And when we say disruptive, we're not just saying, it disrupts a few of the other competitors and so on. We're actually saying that it will change the entire supply chain.
Yeah.
Let's take, everyone knows Uber.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, I won't get into the technicalities around disruption there, but, you had a system whereby, taxi drivers, they would pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for a license. Who did Uber target? Was it the end users, people who use taxis? Or was it the people who could make a few extra bucks with their own car, going to uni, I need extra money?
That's who they went for.
Exactly, exactly. And so, again, you look at Canva. They created
what a tool.
a drag and drop
Yep.
problem solver for non-designers. Now, if they had have built everything that they've got in their vision and gone out and competed against Adobe,
Yep.
smash.
Yep.
They'd have been smashed.
Absolutely.
And this is one of the critical things about disruptive technologies. And we know statistically that if you go head-to-head with a big, powerful incumbent in that marketplace, you have less than a 14% chance of success.
Yeah, okay.
However, if you pivot and just go for the green jelly beans,
Yep.
the incumbent looks at what you're doing. The green jelly beans, they're not profitable customers
Yeah,
to them.
whatever. Yep.
So it's like, they're not relevant to us. They're going down there. That's fine. Would you like me to share a classic example of that one?
Oh, yes.
Do you
Feel
know?
like we're getting inside gossip.
I know.
Not really. Do you know of a brand called Hyundai?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I was only only talking about them the other day.
Were you?
Interesting. You say what you are going to say, and
Okay.
I'll see if that's what I was talking about.
So this has been our take on it. When they came into Australia, they came in with a very, very low cost, basic product. No one knew the name.
Was it the Excel? came in
I'm
with?
not sure which model it was, but it was really raw.
She was raw.
Yeah,
She was basic.
I think from memory, it was only about $4,000 or $5,000. So this is
Yeah.
back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
Did they have cars then?
They did.
Get out.
we did, Jazmyn, even back in the 70s.
Leave.
But so they came into the market. Now, who did they target? Did they try and compete against the customers for Holden, Ford, Mazda, Toyota, and so on? No. They went to the non-consumer market, people who had never bought a brand new car in their life. So, sir, you can go down the street to the shonky second-hand car dealer down the road, spend $5,000 on a car that might only last you a couple of weeks, and then he's gone.
Yep.
Or you can have a brand new car. It will get you from A to B, and it has a 3-year warranty. And very importantly, when you get into that car, it smells
Yep.
like a brand new car.
Yeah, that new car smell, which
Absolutely.
is so important.
So this is the accessibility part. People who had never considered buying a brand new car, all of a sudden they had access to a brand new car. Did they care what brand it was?
Nope.
Did they care that, some toffee people might go, oh, look at them in that piece of rubbish. So it gave them the beachhead. And then over time, and this is how disruption strategy works, over time they improve that product. And then once Hyundai came out, I think it was with the iX35 or something, SUV, and it looked very much like a Holden Captiva.
Yes, it did.
And that's when Holden went, because at first all the companies, these are a piece of rubbish. They're not going to last.
As a Craptiva owner at the time, I was like, what? I should have gone to Hyundai.
Well, this is the thing, is that once they had built their sales outlet, their maintenance outlets, then they were improving the product. And this is what catches the incumbents off guard because, let's face it, big incumbents are arrogant. They don't feel threatened until they're actually threatened.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much how disruption works.
For those that wanted to know, 1986, it was the Hyundai XL.
There you go. Thank you for clarifying
That's
that.
okay. I needed to know for my own. It was going to irk me otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? And that wasn't what I was speaking about the other day.
Okay.
But it was along those lines, but with Daewoo.
Yep.
But yeah, sorry, I could talk about cars all day, but this is not a car show.
We need a
This
second
is a
podcast.
business show.
Yeah.
It's a good example
It is.
of market entry.
Yeah.
They were very clever, and look at them now.
Oh well, you got
Where
the
all the
same
Holdens,
thing,
where all the Fords being manufactured in Australia.
BYD.
Yeah.
They snuck in.
Yes.
Now all of a sudden they are taking a market share.
Absolutely.
Same thing.
Yep. Very much so.
Would you say that if a company has a really large budget and they could afford to kind of capture a larger portion of a market, would it be wiser for them to still start small with the smaller audience, or is there less of a risk or potentially like a larger benefit if you have the budget to do it?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question, Jazmyn. Look, there are sometimes products are developed whereby they are fit. They're purposely built for mining extraction or gas extraction. These are big boy toys. It's not as if you can go to the low end market and say, hey, we've got this amazing autonomous vehicle that can go down into mines and do all this work and come back and the low end of the market's going, yeah, sure, I've got a couple of million in my back pocket.
Yeah, let me just pull that out.
Yeah. So there are different sort of strategies for very high-end products, but instead of maybe going to Rio Tinto, or instead of going to one of the big major companies, you would still pivot and go to the lower end of those types. So if you go to, let's say we take the banks, if you had a solution for the banks, go to ANZ, Westpac, Commonwealth, we've got the four, all right? Then they're the dominant players, they're the incumbents. The bureaucracy within those organisations is massive. So then start to look down at the second tier and even the third tier. That type of strategy, if you think about it, they're the ones who are trying to get to the first tier. And so they're much more in tune to, look at something that gives them a competitive advantage over those tier ones. The only other exception I'll mention is that there are certain organisations, big corporates around the world, who actually welcome startups. They have, funds, venture capital funds for them. We distribute a platform out of the UK called leadingedgeonly.com, and it is an open innovation marketplace. The corporates put up their challenges, and Leo, we call it Leo affectionately, it has well over 100,000 innovators across 25 industry sectors. That is probably one of the exceptions whereby knowing that these big corporates are inviting you to bring in your early stage innovation, then that can be a fantastic strategy because they are, first of all, they're in the mindset to say, yep, we want these startups. We understand you don't have, all the funds and everything to do this. They can be a great source of doing trials, field trials, and getting validation from those. Some of those companies can give you access into markets that you wouldn't get into otherwise. And they're just general, and they have their venture capital funds, which they'll take a stake in you in some cases. So that's one of the sort of key exceptions to the rule.
Hey guys, just wanted to do a quick shout out to our affiliate partner, OpusClip. If you need great video edits without hiring an editor, their AI engine turns your raw clips into share-ready content in under a minute, no skill required. Find our link in the description to support our show and get a great sign-up bonus. Create more, stress less with OpusClip.
You have an 8-step launch formula.
Correct.
Can you talk me through that? I've been dying to ask this, and I didn't know whether it was going to be me or you that got to this question. But I'm intrigued to hear you talk us through this.
Yeah. Okay. So with anything, it starts with an idea. And we approach innovators on the basis that there are no bad ideas. Rather than going from, I've got an idea, let's build it, and then let's put it out to all the multicoloured jelly beans.
Every jelly bean.
Yeah. The launch formula starts off with take the idea, just conceptualise.
Yep.
Who do you think is the market for this? What's the jobs that it does? What sort of pain do you think they're in? How big is this potential market? What's going to cost my idea to get it to market? Understanding that it's not about just building a solution. You've got legals, you've got potential, you've got patents, which can be tens and tens of thousands of dollars.
So many things you never consider.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Branding.
Yep.
Then you've got, how do I onboard them? How do I support them? How do I... Right. The ability to just map that out. So that's the first stage. Just conceptually, map that out, we should be able to sell this for something like that. We think the market's this big, and we can estimate that if we're successful, we can get a return on investment, an ROI. The next stage is go prove that.
Yep.
And this is where we so explore the markets, find your little niche for market entry, talk to them, validate. So being science approach to it, we create a hypothesis and all the assumptions under. Then go talk to that market and validate that the best you can. Build your business case. Actually start talking to software developers or industrial designers about how much is it, roughly going to cost me with this.
Yeah.
Take into account who you need to have involved. You're going to need lawyers, you're going to need industrial designers or software developers, sometimes both. You're going to need branding, you're going to need marketing help. We do see often that a lot of the innovators have spent 95% of their budget on the product,
Yeah.
and then they go to launch,
We got
we
nothing
haven't got
left.
anything left.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the business case is the second stage. If it's really technical, sometimes you need to get proof of concept, right? Patch things together. We're doing one at the moment where the industrial designer is literally using stuff off the shelf that solves a certain problem.
Yeah.
They're patching all that together to go, does this work?
Yep.
Well, yeah, it works. Okay. So we know how to design it now and we know how to work with it. Same with software. And then the next stage is the MVP, minimum viable product. What is this market, this niche market? What are the jobs it's trying to get done? Just build that.
Yep.
Just get it into their hands as quickly and as easily as possible. And that they become early adopters, which is the next stage. Early adopters, treat them like VIP
Yep.
because they're actually your unpaid research and development
Yeah.
team. And so they will teach you many things in being able to then go to the next stage, which is basically your early majority market, right? And from there, the next stage is the majority market. Now you're becoming known.
Yep.
The important thing to understand is that there's a link between jobs to be done and brand and the entire customer experience in between. So to emphasise that point, can I give you a test?
Yes. Oh, wait, what?
Yeah,
Go on, go.
it's very easy.
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
you'll get it.
Will I?
Yeah. Okay. So let's say you're wanting to redecorate the back deck. You need to redo the boards. You want to paint. You want to get some garden beds and all that sort of thing in place. You want to get some new back deck furniture. What's the first brand that pops into your head where you're going to go to get that job
Bunnings.
done? That's it.
Yeah.
That is product market fit. The link between I need to get a job done,
Yep.
what tools, what products do I have, and what is the brand that's going to help me do that? And you think about any purchases you've made where you've got a trust in a brand, where you've thought, I'm going out to a function, I need a
Yep.
new set of shoes or
I feel like I
new dress.
harp on about brand recognition and trust in every episode.
Yeah.
I really do, but I genuinely think people can quite often just push that step aside.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, and we work a lot on causality. What causes the market to go, I've got this problem, I've got this job to do, and it's a bit of a problem. What brand will help me get that done?
Yep.
And really the role of an early startup entering the market is to ensure not just that the product's brilliant, but the entire customer journey, from when you are sending and delivering a message to them about, hey, we know that you do this sort of job and we suspect that it's a challenge and a frustration for you.
Yeah.
We have a solution. Right through to them then engaging with you to find out more, going to your website, whatever, how you sell that product, how you onboard them, and how you engage with them continuously is the entire customer journey. That's a shorter version of the entire journey. That reinforces, it's post-decision validation by the customer. Oh, I took a bit of a risk because, these guys, I didn't know if they're still going to be around in 6 months' time, but my experience has been unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's the challenge for innovators, startups, founders. Not just the product. That's only one element that just does the job. Early adopters and early movers, they will tolerate that it doesn't do everything and it may not do everything absolutely perfectly. But their experience with you through every step of it is what links back to the brand.
You often talk about the importance of early adopter programs. What makes one work and what's the ROI?
Yeah, excellent. What makes one work, as I said before, is about being very selective. A lot of innovators are just so grateful for anyone to show any love to their product. But to reiterate, actually being targeted about who do you want to be your early adopters. Now, it's unlikely that you're going to get any of these high-end segments, right, or customers. Even in the green jelly beans, there's some of those that they don't want anything to do with this. They're too busy. They're focused on this. But if you can find that 16% within there that are the early movers, they love innovation.
Yeah.
They love talking on social media. They love being involved in their industry and helping their industry. You see, jobs to be done is actually broken up into three categories. There's the functional job. The Honda gets me from point A to point B. The second job is the emotional job. How does it make the customer feel to be doing this job and solving the problem and frustrations they had before? And the third job is the social job. How do others perceive me as the customer by being able to do this job with this new technology? So again, you go back to those people that lined up in Apple.
That's the first thing I thought of was Apple.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is it the functional thing that they absolutely need? No, they've already got last year's model, but it's an emotional thing because I'm an Apple person and I've got to be the first to have it. So internally, it makes me feel great to be the first to have the new iPhone 16, 17, 18, whatever.
Yeah.
But also socially.
Yeah.
Are they the type of people that might post that they've just got their brand new iPhone?
From a consumer perspective, what's something that brands do that turns a consumer off after they have been loyal to the brand for some time?
Ooh, this is a really interesting topic because it's quite topical at the moment, isn't it? So if we look at, and we've had some internal discussions around this, but if we look at a company like Tesla, I'll ask you, who did you see as their product market fit or their ideal customer profile? How would you describe those people?
Oh, I don't know that you want my answer.
Left leaning?
Yeah.
Yeah, and what else? What did they care about?
The environment.
And what did they want?
Maybe a status symbol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They cared about the environment. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the social job, but it also the emotional job. It made them feel good. I'm contributing to the
contributing
environment.
to helping, yeah.
That was their perception, whether that can be argued whether it's right, wrong or indifferent. So back to your question, Jazmyn, when a company, or in this case the CEO of a company, deviates away from their ideal customer profile, it can be enormously damaging. Now, forget about all the politics side of it, but even look at, the Cybertruck. Does that really fit with the ideal customer profile of what built Tesla?
No.
No. So I don't quite understand why, but they decided that here's a product that we're going to go sell this monster truck to a whole new market. What type of profile of customer is buying those big massive
that
trucks?
are going to go,
that
let's go for the Cybertruck.
So
Yeah.
I really have no knowledge as to why they pivoted to that.
Influencers got Cybertrucks.
Yeah, I think they've been stuck in LA for too long.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Symptom of that.
I mean, Elon, I feel like he's a bit of an anomaly in regards to anything like this. And this is something else that, Elon comes up a lot, right? We're a business show. He is right now the master of all things business
Absolutely.
and how he puppeteers it all. And he is thinking so many steps ahead.
Yeah.
I don't even think we know why he's bought out the Cybertruck for
Or maybe
real
it's
reasons.
just because
yet.
he can,
I don't know. I feel like everything he does, he bought Twitter
Yeah.
and people boycotted. They boycotted Twitter. They went to other platforms.
Yeah.
Threads was created through
Yeah.
Meta. Why did he buy Twitter? Everyone was like, what's he doing? This is just to bring, Trump back on it and, Andrew Tate and whatever. It wasn't.
No.
This was all had to do with Grok.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like there is so much more to everything he does that
Yes.
we've got no idea. But back to your question, who was the cyber? I don't know. I cannot see why.
And where it
Maybe
fits.
is just because he can.
Yeah, it's possible that, they were very aware of the Chinese manufacturing of electric vehicles and what was coming as far as a competition, in that space. I have no idea. But yeah, certainly in that to that question, Jazmyn, is that one of the things we really try to get through to our startups and innovators and so on is that when you create that green jelly bean beachhead, is the temptation is now to move on to all the other coloured jelly beans, the other market segments. And that can absolutely be done. But one thing I really try to get across to our clients is that don't leave that beachhead behind, because they are really your grounding, first entry and all that sort of stuff. And it's very simple to create other products that are different versions of what you've got for this, for other segments in the market. In actual fact, that's how you scale rapidly.
Yeah. So I guess also something that comes to mind there, just thinking about large companies that have sort of maybe fallen off and then been able to climb their way back into the hearts and minds of their people, is Kmart, right? So it basically dropped off the face of the planet for however long, and now it's back with a vengeance, and Big W's struggling.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, Kmart's almost got to like this cult following.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting,
It's
isn't it?
incredible how they've done that.
What do you think was the strategy behind being able to sort of make that resurgence? Because I imagine, once companies hit that point where it's all on the decline, it's...
Yeah. I'm definitely not an expert in retail environments, but I imagine that from their research, they found a lot of disgruntled customers who were trying to get a job done, whether it's functional, emotional or social, and weren't being satisfied with what was accessible and available to them. from what I know about Kmart and their resurgence, it seems that they have really re-engaged with those customers so that they are now thinking, oh, I need this product or this product. And my experience now in going into a Kmart store, from the advertising right through to going into the stores, being able to find what there's the qualities and the pricing is all encompassing. And therefore, yeah, it's sort of rebuilt this cult.
Can I ask,
back into
though,
that.
it's because it's interesting. Big W has kind of almost tried to mimic this strategy to keep up,
Yeah.
but it doesn't seem like it's working. So
No.
why can it work for one brand but not their competitor?
Do you remember Masters?
No.
Masters came in as a competitor to Bunnings. Remember the blue Masters stores that were mimicking Bunnings? They didn't. Oh, they
Clearly
spent
forgettable.
they spent billions
Really?
to try and compete with Bunnings. I think one of the key things there, Jazmyn, is that people are quite loyal to brands that they feel connected to. I'm not a brand expert, but I really do continually go back to what's the basis of competition. How are those brands competing? And I think consumers are quite versed in understanding what they like and what they don't like. And, you know, there are those that, you know, have their loyalty to the one that's given them those jobs and that satisfaction. Prying those away by mimicking is not really a successful strategy in most cases.
Is it that the consumer feels like they've already got the problem solved here, so they just needn't bother? Or
Absolutely.
do consumers feel slighted in any way by the other brand?
I'm not sure I can answer that one for you from a branding perspective. We've got we use, you know, probably one of Australia's best branding guys out there. He'd be fantastic at answering that question. But I guess my perception and way of looking at it is people. Professor Clayton Christensen in Disruption, he talks about how people hire products to get a job done, which simply means rather than thinking that I buy something, if there is a more accessible and easier, simpler way to do it that costs me less, then people will hire a new product, particularly when they don't necessarily have any brand loyalty or they become disillusioned with the product that they have trusted for so long. You know, let's look at Google and Microsoft and all this, and we would look at the values of those companies and say, oh my God, they'll never be disrupted. Look at Blockbuster,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Now, you know, the funny thing was, as I understand it, Netflix actually approached Blockbuster to say, hey, would you invest in us?
Yeah, and they wouldn't.
And they wouldn't.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing was they saw it as a threat to their business model. Blockbuster wasn't about hiring out videos. It was a property investment model because all their franchisees rented their stores from Blockbuster. So it was a property model. Now,
Interesting.
when-
I actually didn't know that.
yeah, you know, don't take me, you know, for absolute granted on that, but the point is that's my research has shown that really that was the cause of them not being interested, because this thing that could disrupt them would take away their business model in regards to their property. You know, so when we look at sort of things that are about...
You're right, by the way.
Thank you. It's good to know. I'm rattling through my brain. Oh, have I got that right?
Oh, no, have I just dropped that in?
I'm sure that's what it said, but it was a while ago when I researched it. Yeah, so the things are, to understand, and this is where incumbents are fallible from startups and innovation. So, yeah, we can learn a lot from the past examples of how companies have fallen by not actually being able to, the board of directors of Blockbuster, what they could have done was actually invested in them and over time pivoted their business model from, we're property and selling videos to streaming. Now, my understanding is Netflix wasn't even streaming them because we didn't have the infrastructure.
Yeah.
They were a mail in, mail out order, but they didn't charge late fees.
Yeah.
That was their model, right? So unfortunately for Blockbuster, those people were so fixed on trying to keep the world looking like how it was perfect for them and not actually seeing the future coming.
They missed the boat.
They missed the boat, bad time.
If you were coaching a founder who was getting ready for their first investor pitch, what would you absolutely insist they bring to the table?
Evidence.
Yeah.
Evidence. I actually came from private equity space, which is why I've ended up where I am.
Okay.
And part of my role was to review all the pitch decks that came in the week before. And basically, as soon as I saw a line where this industry is worth $10 billion, and if we just get 2% of it, we're home. Straight to the bin.
Yeah, okay.
Whereas if I was able to see that the research has been done, we've actually spoken to the market, we put a real MVP out there, a little bit like Airbnb, right? And we got this feedback. I love videoing our qualitative research because I can actually put that together in you're in the film, is it called a showcase reel?
Oh,
showcase
sizzle reel or something.
Yeah. So I can take segments of that and show it to investors where they can actually see this guy going, oh my God, it's a mess, I'm in trouble, this is painful, I can't sleep at night. That sort of validation of traction and demand is gold to investors.
This is a little segment we like to spring on guests.
Yes, okay.
It's rapid fire questions, so we need your most immediate thought delivered as quickly as possible.
I'll try my best.
We've had CEOs sitting there sweating,
Yeah, well,
and I love it.
yeah, I'm shaking.
Are you? Yeah, I can see you not moving at all.
Alrighty. What's one mistake you see every startup making when chasing product market fit?
Trying to go to the biggest company in the world and sell their product.
Yeah.
Lean canvas or business plan? What should a founder start with and why?
Lean canvas, because part of being innovation and talking to your green jelly bean markets is about being agile and not fixing in a set process all the way through.
Absolutely. All right. What's a tech tool or AI platform you can't live without right now?
Our own.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have to
fair.
say, the ability to hit a button and have all the submarkets come up, understand with our clients to guide us through which is of interest to them and why, what are the jobs trying to get done and all that. We come up with their niche markets in 3 hours.
Yeah.
And now next week we release a tool that we can find the businesses and people, contact numbers and social media of all these businesses literally in minutes.
Yeah, wow.
So I think there's so many fantastic tools out there now and it's only going to get better.
But yours is the best.
Well, yes. We'd have to claim that.
If you could tattoo one innovation principle on every founder's arm, Jaimie wrote this question.
I know, can you tell?
What would it be?
Could you just repeat that for me again? I'm sorry.
You got lost in the
Yeah.
tattoos.
If you could tattoo one innovation principle on every founder's arm for them to look at and remember.
Yeah. Work off data in order to guide your emotions, not your emotions actually build the data.
Okay.
I could see that in a nice script.
Yeah, nice script
Yeah.
on here.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so Trevor, I've got one last main question for you. We're the business game, a podcast that moves the needle.
You certainly do.
What is one piece of advice you could give every CEO that could move their needle? Or what's something that you've done in your business to move the needle?
Yeah, great question. I'll answer the first part first. In this day and age, as AI enters and is the topic on everyone's tongue, is to actually know and understand how you can improve customer experiences and do it at a faster rate, more accurately, and at a lower cost. Because if you're not, your competitors are.
Yep, couldn't agree more.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah, and in the second part, I really think it was when I was in the private equity space and we tried to raise money for so many companies, and knowing that around 80 to 90% are going to fail, to then have studied disruption strategy, and it was like this massive euphoria of, I now understand why they fail. All I have to do is to reverse engineer
Reverse it,
that
that's right.
and build a system that can actually impact, that we can reduce the failure rate. Because every failure, and we've all, in business, we've all been there, in every failure, there's money lost, there's blood, sweat and tears lost. It impacts relationships, it impacts families, and impacts people's future. So if we can have an impact on bringing more success because we've got a validation process, then that's pretty cool.
That's wonderful. And it's great to hear that there's a science behind it. It's achievable for everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes, it is. It really is
fantastic.
achievable for everybody.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure having you on.
And for those of you that have listened in that wondered why you didn't buckle underneath our rapid fire questions, that's because you are actually the host of your own podcast.
Yes.
You are. So
a very
there's-
small channel.
It doesn't matter. But you are the host of the Product Market Fit Guide.
That product market fit guy,
That
yes.
Product Market Fit Guide.
Yes.
Yes. So where you go more into detail in regards to,
Absolutely.
surprisingly,
Yeah.
the product market fit.
Yeah. We actually provide the whole step-by-step process with the green jellies and understanding that, how to do qualitative research, how to do early adopter programs, and so on. So, yeah, we've only been going a couple of months. So,
You've got to start somewhere.
Yeah,
You've got to start at the beginning.
absolutely.
Maybe
But
we
we're having
should-
fun.
Maybe we should tattoo that on people's arms.
Start at
Just
the beginning.
start at the
No
beginning.
tattooing anyone's
Well,
arms, Jamie.
either that or start with the end in mind.
That's good. Very profound.
Well, yeah, I'll have to give that to my partners at Advivo Accountants and
Okay.
Business Advisors, because that's their motto.
Okay, well, I was going to give it to you, but in that case, thank you guys.
No, it's good to know.
Trevor, thank you so much for joining
Yeah.
us. It's been great. I will have all your deets down below for
Okay.
people to contact you.
Certainly, they can find us at advivoicp.com. I think what we bring to innovators is just the ability to, first of all, validate whether your idea is commerciable. And don't go throwing tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars into a product that may not actually have any demand
Yeah.
out there at all. It's been, I've enjoyed myself. I love your show.
Amazing.
You have some amazing people on it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I hope
Now
to
you're
see you
one of
grow. Yes.
There you go.
How did that happen?
Put that on your resume.
I will. I will.
Okay, thank you so much, and we will chat to you soon.
Thank you very much.
To help support our continued mission to provide free, best-in-class advice from the world's most compelling business leaders, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an episode. See you on Saturday. Thanks for tuning in to The Business Game. If you like what you've heard, make sure to subscribe on YouTube and follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn to stay connected. A big thank you to our major sponsor, SmoothX, for powering today's episode, and join us again on the next episode of The Business Game, a podcast that moves the needle.